Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. And the big headline yesterday was that the Prime Minister said that there was a global conspiracy against India. But even more important was the point, very specifically made, very thoughtfully made, very strategically made by the Prime Minister, that the global conspiracy against India involved the Congress party. This kind of a sharp accusation, where the Prime Minister of India accuses the opposition party of being leagued with foreign players in being part of a global conspiracy against national interest, is as serious a charge as could be. You would have expected fireworks from the Congress today. Some leaders promised they would. But in the aftermath, 24 hours have passed, and there's not a word from the Congress party, not a response from the Congress party, but more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, not a whimper of protest from the Congress party. Is the Congress party scared of even speaking out in response? Is it worried that the government has evidence against it or any of its leaders, or participation in activity that amounts to colluding with foreign players or foreign governments or foreign actors against India's national interest? Is that why the Congress party is quiet? Think about it, viewers. Someone made an accusation like that against you. Would you remain quiet? The Prime Minister makes an accusation against the Congress party, but the Congress party goes into pin drop silence. Now, we must therefore ask the questions. And the questions will become sharper now. And they should continue to remain sharper unless, ladies and gentlemen, the Congress party explains what exactly it is up to. How is the position of the Congress party exactly the same as that of China and Pakistan on the abrogation of Article 370? How do the words of the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson match the words of the Congress party on the scrapping of quote-unquote special status to Jammu and Kashmir? Accidental or part of a conspiracy? Did Microsoft not flag off the risk of Chinese investments in these recent elections? They did, viewers. Did the Congress party say a word? No. It went into pin drop silence mode. The moment you take on the Congress party on issues like this, it says absolutely nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, some people say that the Cambridge Analytica whistleblower, his name is Christopher Wiley, he revealed that the controversial data analytics firm, he claimed that he believed their client was the Congress party. Was there a response from the Congress party then? No. Absolute pin drop silence. Viewers, Israeli campaigning firms were used by the Congress to run campaigns using fake AI bots during the Lok Sabha elections. This firm used ChatGPT-like AI tools to put fake comments against the BJP, and this firm was working very hard to praise and create a pro-Congress opinion. Did the Congress party respond to that published research piece? Not a word from the Congress party. Imagine, viewers, each time the Congress has been directly asked about its link to foreign players, it just goes underground, like it's gone underground on its MOU with China that nobody knows anything about, signed by Rahul Gandhi personally, of which we have video evidence in 2008. They will not speak about it. Did the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation receive crores of rupees in funds directly from the Chinese embassy? When the party was in power, why were crores being allegedly given by the Chinese embassy to the Congress party? An issue raised by the Home Minister, not responded to by the Congress party. Did Rahul Gandhi recently meet a person called Donald Lu from the US State Department, who is known as the regime change expert, who is directly involved in the regime change in Bangladesh? If he did not, why did he say I didn't? Why did he leave the matter unanswered? Why did he not explain why, when our forces were part of the Doklam conflict, a standoff with the Chinese, he went to meet Lu Zhanui, the Chinese ambassador, for serious conversations? Did he meet Chinese ministers? during his visit to Kailash Mansarovar? Why did Rahul Gandhi meet Ilhan Omar, the leader of the anti-India club? Did he visit the White House? Did he visit the State Department? Why did he meet all the possible well-known anti-India groups on his visit to the United States of America? Ladies and gentlemen, these are very serious matters. And now that the Prime Minister has said so clearly, I think it is time the Congress party, which is hiding somewhere, like an ostrich burying its head in the sand, answers the people of India. What exactly is the party's intent? What is the party up to?
There was an attempt to term the grouping of foreign elements against India a hogwash, a media bogie. There was an attempt to brush the attempt of outsiders working with insiders against India under the carpet. And this at a time when there is a deep state targeting India. The Prime Minister has openly named the Congress party for aligning with the global conspiracy against India.
बीते कुछ समय से भारत के विरुद्ध भांति-भांति के षड्यंत्र चल रहे हैं। भारत के लोकतंत्र को, भारत के अर्थतंत्र को, भारत के सामाजिक ताने बाने को कमजोर करने के लिए भांति-भांति की साजिशें हो रही है, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय साजिशें हो रही है। कांग्रेस जैसी राष्ट्रीय पार्टी और उनके चट्टे बट्टे इस खेमे में शामिल है, इस खेल में शामिल है।
Prime Minister sure knows something for him to take a public position on it. And yet, there is a stone-cold silence from Rahul Gandhi and company. The proof of insiders joining hands with anti-India elements is no more a hidden fact. With Rahul's meet with anti-India element Ilhan Omar, to allegations of him meeting BNP leaders, from Rahul Gandhi meeting the Chinese officials amid Doklam standoff, to allegations of the Chinese funding Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, to Rahul Gandhi time and again seeking foreign intervention.
The so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone, right? Which is the real problem.
The aspect of global conspiracy against India has become a national focus now. And at the center of it is the Congress party.
Okay, on the debate this evening, I have with me Kanchan Gupta from the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, speaking for the government. Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP. Savio Rodriguez, founder and editor-in-chief of Goa Chronicle. We have with us Kapil Madan, pro-Congress. We have with us this evening, for the first time, Anish Gawande, recently appointed as the national spokesperson of the NCP, that is the Sharad Pawar faction, and Amerikai Narayanan, political analyst. Anish, let me start with you. Don't you think an accusation as serious as that merits a response? If the Prime Minister was to make an accusation like that directly against your party or your party leader, would they not have responded by now?
Arnab, firstly, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's great to be on air with you, and I'm grateful to be here today. I think you're right that there have been various accusations leveled by the Prime Minister yesterday that should be answered. But unfortunately, the reality is that they occupy far too much airtime when they are answered. The opposition has been raising questions to the Prime Minister. In Maharashtra, we've been raising questions about the Bobdev Ghat rape, a gang rape that took place 6 days ago, of which there's no information pending. And we've been raising questions time and again about the government's track record on the economy, on inflation, on corruption, on unemployment. Unfortunately, the grim reality today is, and I think the sad state of affairs today is, that one headline overruns the other. And at a time when we need to be focusing on the real issues, when we need to be focusing on the bigger issues, I think there is a general consensus that these might be becoming distractions. And should the Congress respond to this? I think I would leave that to the Congress spokesperson. But I think these are genuine questions to be asked, Arnab, even off the media today, that why is one headline allowing the other to be displaced? And in this
but was the Prime Minister trying to grab a headline, Tuhin, or was the Prime Minister stating a serious fact? You know, at the end of the day, it's the Prime Minister of India speaking. It's not just anyone speaking. So, Tuhin, why was that statement made? Should that statement not be followed up with some proof by the government, if this indeed is true?
Well, good evening, Arnab. Good evening, everybody. You know, Rahul Gandhi, in fact, seems to be working on a secret, in fact, not so secret balkanization plan, which has a twofold, which has a two-pronged agenda to it. Number one, to demonize India internationally and build a narrative in favor of China. And number two, to stoke endless divisions within the country. And I will give you specific examples. 8th of September 2023, on the eve of the finale of G20, where the India Middle East European corridor was announced. Where was Rahul Gandhi? He was in Brussels singing praises for the Belt and Road Initiative of China. Number two, this September, just 1 month ago, he was again in US singing praises for China's manufacturing prowess at a time when 1.25 lakh crore have been invested by the government only on PLI for manufacturing, and that has yielded results. And, on the other hand, we have seen the way he has gone out of his way to stoke divisions within the country. When it comes to empowerment of backward sections, if 40,000 crores worth of money has been transferred through DPI directly into the hands of poor, an amount only 15% would have been transferred in the time of Rajiv Gandhi by his self-confession. We have empowered the poor.
No, you will give me proof that there is a global conspiracy involving the Congress party. No, 1 minute. Tuhin, the point is clear. We are assembled here to discuss why the Prime Minister said that there is a global conspiracy against India, which directly involves the Congress party.
I gave you evidence. I gave you instances. I gave you instances demonizing India with a view to create a narrative in favor of China, whether it was the Belt and Road Initiative or the manufacturing prowess of China. These are two most glaring instances. Plus, of course, the third instance is continuously demonizing our democracy on 3 successive foreign tours in the last 1.5 years.
Okay, so there are 2 issues here, viewers, please remember. The first issue is whether there's a global conspiracy against India. The second part is whether that global conspiracy includes the Congress party, or has the Congress party at its essence. Since the statement has been made in public by the Prime Minister, we are debating here on Republic. Kapil, and then I'll go to Kanchanda and Savio. Yeah, Kapil.
Arnab, let me begin this by saying, if the government is saying that there is a conspiracy, I asked the question to Hinsina and this government also. If you are really mean, what you were saying on, stage during your rallies, then why don't you launch prosecutions? What is your central agencies are doing? And the fact that there is no such prosecution shows that, the Honorable Prime Minister is making statements in the air. He just want to make a political narrative without there being any kind of substance or a merit in whatever he's saying. That's point number 1. Point number 2.
But is there no foreign conspiracy?
Just a minute.
Are you saying talking about a foreign conspiracy is a conspiracy theorist point of view?
Yes.
Do you believe there's a foreign conspiracy? No, let's get that part out of the way. Kapil, do you believe there is a foreign conspiracy?
I'm sorry. Mr. Modi has lost his charm. He could not, retain the numbers in the general election, and that was what on Mr. Modi's face. Now, the criticism of the government, BJP, the entire BJP wants to float as if it is a criticism against against our nation. I am sorry. This criticism of a government is not the criticism of the nation. If your, policies are flawed, then you will be called for. If you are unable to perform, people will seek accountability. The problem with the government is that the moment you question or there is any dissent, you label them as anti-India. you label them, if there is a foreigner who is seeking accountability from the government, you say it is an international conspiracy. Now,
So,
if I am
now
saying,
you'll defend foreigners. Now you'll defend foreigners against your own country. Well done, well done. If a foreigner, one minute, Kapil, I ask you, I take it from there. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. I've got a good point to rebut you right now. No, you have to yield. Because my question is, my question is, on that very point, Kapil Madan says that if a foreigner seeks accountability in this country, then you see it as a foreign conspiracy. I would like to point out to you as a historical reference point that former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had severely talked about a foreign conspiracy.
You're trying to tweet what I said.
Kapil, can you please yield, because I don't want to speak over you. Volume down. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had himself said there is a foreign conspiracy, and he had said when he was Prime Minister that there are foreign-backed NGOs which are stalling the use of genetic engineering in agriculture, and foreign-backed NGOs who are sponsoring and leading protests against the Kudankulam nuclear power plant in Tamil Nadu. So this is when Prime Minister, when the Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, he spoke of a foreign conspiracy. That was correct. If Narendra Modi speaks of a foreign conspiracy, it's a piece of fiction. Doesn't add up. Kanchan Gupta, please. Then I'll come to you, America. Yeah, Kanchan.
Arnab, let's look at it in two parts. Like you said, whether there is a foreign conspiracy against India, or whether there are elements of abroad which are unfriendly towards India. Of course, there are, and that has been the story ever since India emerged as an independent country. And depending on which government was in power, the coalition of forces would change. You mentioned that Manmohan Singh talked about foreign conspiracy behind the attempt to block the nuclear power project, or to bring in genetically modified seeds, or for various other purposes. But I can go beyond that. When the attempt was made to halt work on the Narmada Dam, that was entirely foreign funded, and it was funded by the diesel lobby. Everybody knows it, books have been written about it, and somehow the Congress never got on top of it. And when Mrs. Gandhi was there, she would often talk about foreign forces working against Indian interests. So why are they so hassled if the Prime Minister today has talked about foreign forces working against the interest of India? It is so obvious that a rising India, an India which is poised to become the fourth largest economy and possibly move up to being the second largest economy in the next few years, will not be sort of embraced by everybody across the world. China is one concern, of course, but there are other concerns too. Now, you as a country have to be mindful of that. Instead, what you do is, like it was just now mentioned, you endorse BRI. BRI as a policy was rejected not only by the Modi government, but even before that by the Manmohan Singh government. So what do you get by endorsing BRI at this point of time when the entire world is ranged against China? Whose language are you speaking? Whose case are you pushing over here? Number two, when you look at Rahul Gandhi's visits abroad, the kind of language which he uses, the kind of examples he gives. I was in your studio talking about his thing about Sikhs feeling alienated in India because they are not allowed to wear their religious symbols. Whose language is that? That is the language of Pannoon. That is the language of the Khalistanis who are working against Indian interests in Canada, in America, in Europe, in Australia. So whose language is he talking? He's talking the Khalistani language over there. And you can go on and on and on when you run down your country's economy, you compare your country's economy with Chinese manufacturing, and
now,
say that you haven't got there. You go and have a chat.
Now,
You go and meet Ilhan Omar in DC.
Why? Now, they'll say this is part of a normal consultation process.
No, it is not a part of a normal consultation.
What we need to do, Kanchanda...
The foreign secretary went to America. He refused to meet a delegation just because the delegation had one member who was known to be hostile towards India.
But what Rahul Gandhi's
and lastly,
position...
it was a very clever ploy of him not to use the leader of opposition tag this time.
You don't have that choice. No, you don't. See, what Rahul Gandhi's argument is that when I'm meeting anti-national elements, when I'm meeting anti-India groups, I'm not meeting them as leader of the opposition. I'm meeting them in my individual capacity.
So that's why
I am meeting anti-India groups. He's not denying he's meeting them. He's not denying he's into discussions with them, but he's saying I'm discussing with anti-India groups on an individual capacity. Makes no sense. It makes no sense, America. It cannot be defended. It sounds stupid, actually, to make an argument like that. And
Can I come in?
And a specific question to you, America. See, you must not deny that a deep state is at play. Everybody knows a deep state is at play. Now, whenever the deep state is at play, Congress party is at play. When Greta Thunberg shares a detailed, updated deep state toolkit, Congress party gets into action. These are not circumstantial evidence. This is happening again and again. Now, British MP Stephen Timms, right, raises his voice along with Rahul Gandhi when the CAA matter comes up. Again, example number 3, America, and think about it. We take you back to January 2020, when George Soros says that I will invest personally $1 billion against Narendra Modi and against the creation of a nationalist state in India. George Soros says I will put $1 billion against Modi and against the creation of a Hindu nationalist state. Exactly at the same time, what happens? Where does the money go? When does Shaheen Bagh break out? When do the roads get blocked? Is it not within a few months of Modi being elected for a second term? Think about it. These are connections. Now, on any of this, if you say, don't connect the dots, Arnab, you also have to tell me why. America, why should we not connect the dots?
You are welcome to connect the dots and do all sorts of things because this is democracy and you own the republic and you are saying whatever you want. But that's the fact. Justify that is a question. First question you asked was, why is Congress not responding to it? My question to that, when Manipur was burning, and still it has not settled yet, the significant population of India is suffering. The Prime Minister has not said a word. Have you had the guts to question him? Now, the Prime Minister is answerable to the people of India more than the individual.
What do you want Americans to interfere in Manipur?
No, let me finish.
Because do you want America? You want the Americans to intervene in Manipur?
Please. Let me finish.
You want the Americans to get into Manipur?
You can ask all the question. I'll answer it later. Second, I agree with you and with the earlier person who said there has always been conspiracies against India, whether it is in the 50s, 60s, 70s during Indira Gandhi time, and subsequently Rajiv Gandhi's death, the rise of India, and even now. The question is that when something, you are equating that, it's a nature of the beast. Now, to equate that with the opposition questioning Modi is not, please understand in capital letters, not the nation. I, as a citizen of India, and every party...
Modi is the Prime Minister of India. No, 1 minute. Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India.
Right to question.
No, he's the head of the Indian government. You want Matthew Miller, State Department spokesperson, to be the head of the government. What are you saying, America? How can you talk like that?
Right. No, you can shout all you want. All I am saying is that we and the opposition has a right to question.
No, you have a right to question, but not in league with foreign entities.
Don't say that we are questioning India.
No.
And we are against India.
Well,
India
why are
is
you?
a democracy, and hopefully it'll continue to be a democracy.
But
without
why?
the people like you.
Savio, he raised Manipur. Your take on that?
So, Arnab, let's look at two very important aspects of geopolitics. One is statecraft and the other one is spycraft. And in both statecraft and spycraft, there are no coincidences. Starting way back on August 6, 2008, when Rahul Gandhi signed the MOU with the International Liaison Department of the Communist Party of China. That was the first step that Rahul Gandhi personally was involved in working with a foreign covert intelligence arm of the Chinese government. And you have seen the benefits that have accrued, to the Chinese companies, and did not work in the interest of the Indian MSMEs and SMEs. Look at the time when the UPA was in government. Second, the recent visit of Rahul Gandhi to the US and the people that he has met, they are absolute anti-nationals in terms of being anti-Indian.
But he says, I'm trying to meet Ilhan Omar to understand her anti-India point of view. I'm meeting anti-India people, but I'm meeting them as Rahul Gandhi. I am meeting the anti-national people. I'm meeting the anti-India people, but I'm meeting them as Rahul Gandhi, not as leader of opposition.
Whether he's meeting them as Rahul Gandhi or whether he's meeting them as a leader of the opposition, the fact of the matter is they are anti-India.
No, but his argument is tomorrow. His argument is that tomorrow I can meet. No, but he's going to say tomorrow.
Donald Lu was the white.
No, it's not Donald Lu. No, it's not only Donald Lu. Rahul Gandhi's point is, Tuhin, I will meet Masood Azhar tomorrow if required, but in an individual capacity.
Yes,
I will meet Hafiz Saeed tomorrow if required, but in an individual capacity. I will meet the Pakistanis tomorrow if required, but in an individual capacity.
Against India.
This is not
Rahul Gandhi he's working against India. Donald Lu was responsible for the coup in Bangladesh, and that is who Rahul Gandhi met.
Logic. This is Arnab, this is not only bizarre logic, it is perverted logic. He can't be an Ikshadhari LOP, who suddenly decides for the next half an hour, I'm not an LOP because he wants to indulge in some misadventure. But after half an hour, he can become an LOP again. An LOP is a responsibility which he has to live 24/7. And if he doesn't understand that, then he has no business being there. Arnab, in March 2023, when he first started his diatribe against India on foreign soil in London, there was a 90-year-old journalist, Suresh Kumar Gupta, who had met him, and there is a video of his meeting with Rahul Gandhi where he explained to Rahul Gandhi that I have known your grandmother also, and I have met her immediately after her incarceration during Morarji Desai's rule. But when she came to London, she was so well behaved, and she was so, she was speaking so well of the country that you should learn from her. Unfortunately, like some of the other panelists have said, India has been under attack of the deep state for the last 70 years. But the only difference is that in the last few years, the Congress party of Rahul Gandhi has become a silent enabler. And that is a huge and that is a very embarrassing difference.
Now, Anish wanted to come in. America, you want to come in? Anish also wants to come in.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll allow America to go in first, Anish. Let him respond, then I'll come to you for a detailed counter. Yeah, America.
3 questions, I'll answer quickly.
Sure.
First, yes, he is right. Indira Gandhi never did that. Vajpayee never did that. Unfortunately, Modi set an example of going and criticizing India after he became the prime minister, when he went to New York and other places. So he's getting paid by his own act.
No.
Number two, the Chinese.
I want to counter that small point. I'll give it in 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds, America. In 5 seconds, I'm giving it back to you. Well, I've heard this. No, only 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds. When Prime Minister Modi, and I have personally heard him, I was there in New York when he became Prime Minister. I was at Madison. in New York when he was making that speech. Let me tell you, if the Prime Minister of India says to an audience largely made up of people of Indian origin or Indian citizens or PPI or card holders, and he tells them, we will build the country of our dreams. I know previous governments have been corrupt, but our country is great. We will achieve greatness by crushing corruption. I don't see that as a criticism of the country. That is a criticism of the previous government's manner of functioning. There's a huge difference between the two. Kanchan wanted to come in on that. It's a direct versus Kanchan.
I just want to clarify. No, this is not acceptable. You cannot be allowed to get away with impunity for saying that the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, went and criticized India.
Can I finish
You
up?
cannot do that. That is something which your party leader is given to doing. And it's all on record. It's on record on text. It's on record on video. Your leader went and met a group of Indians, and there he said, Sikhs are not allowed to wear their religious symbols in India. I mean, if that is not a damning of the country from where he comes, and the country which feeds him and keeps him in comfort, then what is it? When he had absolutely no business to jump the gun and congratulate Muhammad Yunus in Bangladesh. Go back and look at that message. He doesn't even mention the word minorities over there. By then it was very clear what was happening in Bangladesh.
Okay, counter back, hand over to America to complete his point. America to complete his point, please.
The first thing.
America to complete his point. Kanchana, please pull back. Yeah.
The second thing that you talked about is they signed an agreement with China. If there is something that needs to be hidden, it wouldn't be a public event. People know if there were something to hide, I won't do it in public. There's nothing to hide. It's a standard operating procedure. Please,
the MOU public, America.
There's a standard operating
Why have they not made the MOU public?
Make it public now. Release the document now. Let the people of the country know it.
Speaks about it to a Chinese newspaper, but does not give an interview on the MOU to any Indian channel. Why have they not made it public? When will they make it public? The MOU must be made public. The people of India need to know what was in the MOU signed with the foreign covert intelligence arm of the CCP. Why have they not made it public?
Why I even started.
You tell me, why have they not made it public?
Logical argument.
Why have they not made it public? Do you have an answer? Do you have an answer? They signed it with a foreign covert intelligence unit. Why have they not made it public?
I go to a specific issue here. To uphold national interest, you need a strong leadership and a strong leader. Every country needs. You need someone who can stand up for national interest. You don't need a feeble, flexible, maneuverable kind of leader, so-called leader, who can sometimes sit in a Chinese lap, sometimes sit in an American lap. Now the question is this. Why does Rahul Gandhi say there is no democracy in India? Why does he say, oh, Chinese manufacturing is great, we can't manufacture? Why does he sometimes say Indian men have a bad mentality? Why does he say Sikhs cannot wear a turban? Why does he say nobody has any rights? Why does he say India is not a nation? Would Sharad Pawar say? I'm asking the NCP spokesperson, would Sharad Pawar say, India is not a nation? Would he say that? Am I supposed to just dismiss that as juvenile?
Let
well thought. Anish
wants to say something. No, America, go ahead.
No, don't let America go ahead. I'm the anchor here. He's spoken enough.
Anish, just respond for 1 second, please.
No, America, I'm pulling you back. I am asking Anish that, Anish, see, look at the number of times America has interfered in India's affairs. I felt so hurt, Savio, when during the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act, there was a guy called Matthew Miller. He said that I am monitoring this, America is monitoring this, we warn you, we'll do this, we'll do that with you. I mean, and you go crying to that country. During Manipur, okay, there is a mess in Manipur. 1 minute. Acknowledged. The government of India will fix it. But what does that fellow Eric Garcetti say? America will assist America will work. Who are you? What is your stake? And why does Rahul Gandhi not say anything about that? Why does Rahul Gandhi not say anything when they question religious freedom in India? When they question human rights situation in Kashmir? Which side is he on? It's becoming unclear. I find very few issues on which Rahul Gandhi's position is the position of our country. Sometimes his position is that of the EU, sometimes of Pakistan, sometimes of China, and sometimes of Washington. The fellow doesn't know which side he belongs to. Anish.
You won't let me respond.
Arnab, unfortunately, this 2008 MOU has come out far too often. And if the government of India is serious about any action on this, then a detailed investigation needs to be carried out and there need to be charges filed. This government has not hesitated before using UAPA against protesters in the CA-NRC. It has not hesitated against banning certain outfits that have been
Anish, why is it, Anish, please tell me, why is it that the Congress government, the Congress people, not make it public? Why should there be an investigation?
No, you said that this government, this government, this attempt to demonize India through the careful use of words. Example, the unfortunate words being used by Anish. This government, Anish, I remind you, your government and my government. 1 minute. No. You said this government. 1 minute. Your government, my government, our government. This Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, my Prime Minister, Bharat's Prime Minister. Second point. Can you tell me, you keep railing about, oh, this government does not allow freedom of expression, you and all these, Javed Akhtar types, we're not allowed to protest during UAPA, we need democracy. Before we go and chill in our local club, let's just say democracy is dead in India. Can you kindly tell me which government removed the Hamas supporters by force from the Ivy League campuses in America? Did America allow it? Did Biden allow it? Will a future, even if Kamala Harris gets elected, will she allow it? Did Rishi Sunak or any British politician allow Hamas protests on the campuses of Oxford and Cambridge? Why are we demonizing our country? You take the law into your own hands. I say today, Anish, let's be realistic. One minute. You say we will block the highways outside London. We will block it in the name of farmers' protests. I want to know how many microseconds the British government will take to use force against them. But in India, you can do what the hell you want. Tuhin is responding out and get Rahul Gandhi's support, Anish.
No, Arnab, I think we follow due process in this country and the Prime Minister holds an incredibly important
look at the duplicity of this Rahul Gandhi.
If you humor me for a second,
Khalid, since you mentioned
the Prime Minister of India has consistently stood, and regardless of what party has been in power, the Prime Minister of India goes above parties.
Ex-Hamas chief had an online discussion barely 50 kilometers away from Rahul Gandhi's constituency. Shouldn't he have raised a voice against it? This was barely 20 days after the attack on Israel. But this is how he weakens India in every possible way.
Can I come in?
No. Point also being, I'll give you one more example. I get Kanchanda also on this. Anish C, Jeffrey Sachs, very respected. I don't know whether he's at Columbia or Harvard, one of these universities. He recently, has said very clearly that the Americans ousted Imran Khan, not that any of us are fans of Imran Khan, because he exposed the role of the US espionage agencies. And therefore, immediately after that, a man called Donald Lu of the US State Department removed Imran Khan. Now, my question is, Anish and America, why does Rahul Gandhi go and meet Donald Lu? He knows exactly what Donald Lu does.
If these are the allegations, Arnab, then I challenge the BJP to arrest Rahul Gandhi tomorrow. If this is the seriousness of the allegations, if this is the level at which we've stooped to, then there must be credible action taken. For far too long, this has constantly been raised. But
Kanchal, okay, everyone on. He says stoop. He says stoop. Kanchana, unmute.
My young friend is indulging in classic whataboutery. I mean, if he did this, why wouldn't you do this? If he did that, why didn't you do that? No, it's not about whether he did it. He, of course, did it. It's all there in the open. And you see, again, I give another example. When 7th October happened last year, and more than 1,200 Israelis were killed, and killed in a very horrific manner by Hamas terrorists. Neither Rahul Gandhi nor Priyanka Gandhi issued a statement. Forget the Congress party, they wouldn't dare issue a statement. Subsequently, when the offensive action by Israeli happened, both brother and sister have been furiously issuing statements on X, shedding crocodile tears for the Hamas terrorists.
No, but please answer.
One second, I heard you. Please wait.
No,
please wait. So you have a person here who openly, you have a person here who openly aligns himself
when
with someone.
Interrupted me, you have lost your right to ask the other person to not interrupt you. So let him interrupt you. You deserve it. Go ahead, gentlemen.
America has become the anchor of the program.
Keep your attitude.
I don't even think I took note of you.
You have not been doing now. You're not being fair. You should have asked him to keep quiet.
I don't think I even took note of somebody called America. He doesn't feature on my radar.
Let him interrupt you. You deserve it.
You have a person
I'm extending by a minute.
who aligns with a friendly country, not only of this government, but also of the previous government and the government before that and the government before that.
No, I'll give one more example.
To what end?
Anish.
In Badlapur, after the encounter, the Home Minister puts up a poster saying Badlapura. You don't want to follow due process. You don't want to go through the institutions that exist, and you want to level these accusations day in and day out.
Can I ask you when your evergreen ally Uddhav Sena demolished Kangana's house illegally and said ukhad diya, which due process was followed? When your government entered my apartment with 200 AK-47 wielding policemen, dragged me out of my house only to be snubbed by the Supreme Court and told that there is no case against Arnab. Why did you do that? Where was due process followed? What due process are you talking about? The shoe hurts when it's on the other foot.
There was an ability to go to the Supreme Court.
No. All right. Anyway, let me remind you. Yesterday was 4 years of the lie you put against Republic on the 8th of November 2020. You know one thing, Anish. Republic doesn't forgive and doesn't forget. The people also don't forgive and forget. So when you talk about due process, look at what your party and your party's supporters have done. Let's go back to the present situation, Anish. I have all no grudges. I have a bigger heart than that. But I don't forget and I don't forgive. Now my question is this. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir and Standing Committee member of BNP Amir Khusro Mohammad Chaudhry met US Department Deputy Assistant Secretary Afreen Akhtar and Ambassador Peter Haas on 24th February, a few weeks before the regime change. All of this happened on the instructions of Donald Lu. Ilhan Omar works closely with Donald Lu, and Rahul Gandhi goes and meets all of them. Why? Am I supposed not to ask why? Principal question, Savio, somebody explain why?
And we've not even got into the...
Can I come in?
We've not even got into the allegations of
Sheikh Hasina,
Shoaib Salahuddin.
Meeting with her party people very clearly said that the white man, referring to Donald Lu, was talking about breaking up Myanmar, Bangladesh, and parts of Northeast, which is Manipur and Mizoram, to create a Christian nation
by breaking the sovereignty of India.
Absolutely. And that is why Sheikh Hasina was thrown out.
Tuhin wanted to add a word there, ladies and gentlemen. Tuhin.
No, like I mentioned, Arnab, you have not even got into the allegations made by Shoaib Salahuddin. If we get into that, after it was on a show where I was there, Salahuddin ji made some very startling revelations about Rahul Gandhi, about his meeting with Khalida Zia's son in London. And for the next 2 weeks, we kept demanding an explanation from Rahul Gandhi. They did not deserve it.
And we asked, why was the FCRA? Why was the FCRA registration? No. 1 minute. I'll tell you, America. The argument is, India, BJP doesn't like democracy, all that. Democracy is dead. That's why they removed our FCRA registration of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. The reality is the FCRA registration of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation was cancelled because it allegedly got 1.35 crore rupees from the Chinese embassy. Straight money, CASH, cash, America.
No, not only
or should I say yuan?
Let me come in.
Arnab, it wasn't.
Let me come in, please.
That was one of the reasons.
First thing, you quoted Rajiv Gandhi said, Rahul Gandhi said there's no democracy. You talked about various quotations.
No, there's democracy in China from whom you take money.
Please.
Because the Chinese give you money, there's democracy there.
Please let me finish up. Several years back,
you're not being able to answer, America.
I am.
No.
You won't let me talk.
You're sweating.
The Chinese give the Congress party validation.
Several years back, when I appeared in your show, and I said, even 1 paisa corruption is bad, and there has been corruption in every government. You took what I said out of context and blew it out of proportion. This is exactly what you do.
Too many dots to connect, too many questions to answer. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing is very clear. When the Prime Minister says something so clearly, as clearly as that, you can't look the other way. You just can't look the other way. On our continuing debate, on the other side, viewers, is the narrative going to change? Is the narrative going to change after the results of yesterday?
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Co-powered by Jaguar Bath & Light.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
Director, the taste of success.
We're back to Arnab on the debate.
Since Jammu and Kashmir has given a huge mandate to the National Conference, and Farooq Abdullah Saab has yesterday said that Umar will be the face of the new government if this materializes. How do you see your role as the Chief Minister? Because now it's UT and the role of Chief Minister has diminished. How are you going to navigate?
Look, I'm not going to presume what the legislative party will do, but that's not the important part. The important part is the second part of your question, which is how will the incoming government navigate? Obviously, these are realities. We can't wish them away. That said, I believe that it's a temporary phase. I've always said that this is not the assembly we deserve, it's not the assembly we want, but this assembly is a step towards that assembly. The Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Defence Minister, Honourable Home Minister, time and again in speeches have assured the people of Jammu and Kashmir that statehood will be restored. The BJP always said that it's a three-step process: delimitation, election, statehood. 2 steps are done. Delimitation complete, elections complete. Now third step, statehood.
Do you see that the promise that have been made by the Prime Minister, that promise will be fulfilled sooner, or how are you going to take the steps further to get the statehood?
Look, I believe that obviously this is a priority matter for the incoming government. I would advise that once the government is in place, in the first cabinet meeting, they should have a single point agenda, which is to pass a resolution asking Government of India to restore full statehood for Jammu and Kashmir. And then the Chief Minister, perhaps accompanied by some of his ministers or even on his own or her own, should travel to Delhi, meet the Honourable Prime Minister, Home Minister and others, present them with this cabinet resolution and ask them, look, I think the people of Jammu and Kashmir deserve some sort of recognition and some reward and appreciation for the way in which they participated in this election.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Co-powered by Jaguar Bath and Light.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. I'm too busy, baby, making plans on how to get me one of them manly men. All I want is a touch of love.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.